Welcome to the Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time.
This week we're talking about flamboyant siblings, alphabetical coins, and celebrity kindness. Welcome to another episode of the Kindness Project. I'm joined by Chris James, the man so good at sports he keeps busting his knees.
I do keep on busting my knees, and I'm joined by Charlotte, whose little sister can be best described as confident. I don't know. What do you think?
Overly assertive.
Overly assertive. But we were talking the other day, and you said you felt she was flamboyant. Why was that?
She's just overly exaggerative about everything.
Yeah.
She'll stop at a time and start screaming or something.
Yeah, but she's 6, so maybe she'll grow out of it. I mean, seeing a sort of 14, 15-year-old stub their toe and start crying might be a bit too much. Do you reckon that flamboyance runs in the family, Charlotte?
Yeah, I think it comes from you.
How dare you?
There it goes with the British accent.
How dare you talk about my flamboyance? Yeah, it doesn't come from you, no?
Maybe not.
Maybe, definitely. So, I do keep on busting my knee, listeners. I actually woke up on New Year's Day, this year, and couldn't walk on one leg. And walking into A&E on New Year's Day, Charlotte, there's only one expectation for anybody walking into a hospital on New Year's Day.
Drunken fools everywhere.
Drunken fools, you've had one too many. And actually, I wasn't a drunken fool on that particular thing. I had a really bad knee through a bit too much kickboxing, didn't I? Suffice to say, I haven't done much kickboxing since, but I'm hoping to get back to it soon once I find out what the issue is with the knee. So, should we let everybody know what our Twitter handles are? But before we do, I know you're desperate. I mean, I could see the look on your face there waiting to give you a Twitter handle. But before we do it, can I tell you a little story I read in the paper the other day?
Go ahead.
So apparently the Royal Mints designed some new coins.
Oh, the alphabetic ones?
Yeah. So every 10p coin has its own letter. And what they've done is they've used an image to describe something that is quintessentially British. Do you like that word? That wasn't part of what I was going to say, but I had to get in there. Quintessentially British. I can't even say it the second time around. And what I thought we'd do is on our Twitter bios, both the podcast one and our one, we'd describe them in the phonetic alphabet used on these new 10p coins. What do you reckon?
Let me have a crack at it.
Okay, cool. Right, here we go. Right, so
mine has more letters than probably any of you are expecting.
Okay.
Okay, so Charlotte J. Dames.
Should we do the podcast one first?
Yeah. Oh, okay, so Ola Kindness. So
what's that Ola Kindness start with then?
It's Houses of Parliament.
Ola?
Tree. Yeah.
Houses of Parliament, Oak Tree.
Can't see the L.
The L is
Loch Ness Monster.
Loch Ness Monster.
Angel of the North.
Oh, you know what?
Space. I had to put that in there.
Space.
King Arthur. Ice cream cone. Can't see the N. Oh my god, this is so tragic. I can't see one of the letters. Okay, National Health.
Oh, the good old National Health. Which, by the way, listeners, is really helping my wonky leg and my wonky ear at the minute. I've got a wonky ear and a wonky leg, and the National Health Service has been absolutely awesome. Just wanted to say that.
Double-decker bus.
Oh, iconic.
That's not 2B. That's not 2 Ds and a B. It's just 1D. And then it's the National Health Service again.
Yay!
The English breakfast. Stonehenge.
Cool. And my Twitter is at Chris, and then it's D for double-decker bus, iconic. A for the Angel of the North. E for a lovely English breakfast. M for, I can't find the M, Macintosh.
Yeah, like the apples. Macintosh apples.
What, the computers, you mean?
No.
What's an Apple Macintosh?
Don't know about it.
An Apple Mac is a computer, Charlotte.
I know, but no, I know what I'm talking about.
I'm sure Macintosh is an old Scottish name. I'm gonna try and find the coin, but anyway, Macintosh is there, and then S, which is Stonehenge again.
Okay, so I'm not going to do mine with the letters. Honestly, you will be here for about an hour with me just trying to filter through it. So.
Maybe I should have picked... should we pretend your name is something really short? Like Sue, right?
No, I'll do Charlie.
Charlie, go on then.
Okay, cricket. Where's the H? Cricket, Houses of Parliament. Yeah, House of Parliament, Angel of the North, Robin, Loch Ness Monster, Ice Cream Cone, English Breakfast. Okay, and now I'll actually give you my Twitter handle because obviously...
What was that? I mean, typically the intros to our podcast are the ramblings of a madman and his daughter.
I'm the madman, yeah.
Well, I'm not the daughter, am I? A mad woman and her dad. But this week, I think we're sinking to a new low, just calling out random letters like Greenwich Mean Time, Jubilee, World Wide Web,
Cheese. It's not one of them, I don't think.
Teapot.
I'll give you my actual Twitter handle this time. I'll do it as fast as possible. Don't worry about it. Charlotte J. Dames, CHARLOTTEJDAEMS.
Okay, cool.
Boom.
So now you either know how to get in touch with us or haven't got a clue because of that rambling, shambolic explanation about Twitter handles. Let me just tell you one thing. You can find us on the World Wide Web, which is W on the 10p coins. I think you might want to know that.
World Wide Web, www.
Yeah, but they only use one W. You can find us on at www.thekindnessproject.co.uk.
Or the email.
Which is...
Ola@thekindnessproject.co.uk.
Absolutely right.
Oh,
so what's your favourite coin and what one you're going to be collecting? Because I don't really use 10p's anymore. Everything I use is on the card.
No, I use pounds, mostly £2.
I might go 10p hunting just to get a National Health Service 10p and potentially a full English breakfast 10p. What do you reckon?
Mum's been suggesting we get our name.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
We might just do the surnames because we've all got to get the same thing then.
Yeah, exactly. So, would you like to know the podcast question of the week?
Yes, please.
So, the podcast question of the week is: what's your favourite work of art? Now, listeners, we've been talking about this with some of our guests that are coming on in future weeks. But in addition to that, for one of our guests, we had a conversation and we started talking about books, music, because it's all art, right? But what I'd like to know is what's your favourite painting, sculpture, architecture? What else are we going to include in art?
I don't know.
Theatre? No.
No, because if it was theatre, then I'd just ramble on about musicals for the next 20 minutes.
Fair enough. So we'll go for painting, sculpture. We're going to ignore architecture for now because we'll have an architectural question later. So what's your favourite piece of art in the mediums of painting and sculpture? What's yours, Charlotte?
I do not know. I mean, I'm quite a fan of, landscape art. I wouldn't be able to give you one specific bit of art because obviously that's not my favourite type of art. Actually not that big a fan. I like drawing characters and stuff like that. But I usually
would you go for a piece of manga?
Yeah, probably. But I don't know.
But they're not. Manga doesn't really have iconic works of art, does it? Or not? Does it have big? You wouldn't go to an art gallery and see manga, would you? No.
No, because I can do that on my phone.
Why get out of bed when I can have a look at my phone and just take a look? I tell you, I got to see last year one of my favourite works of art. It's Van Gogh's Starry Night.
I love.
Yeah, I know. Well, it was in New York, and unfortunately, you didn't come. But we thought it was going to be in Paris when we went, didn't we? And it wasn't. But we saw loads of other awesome Van Gogh stuff. Can I tell my Van Gogh story?
Go ahead.
So we went to the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam a couple of years ago. Do you remember?
Yes.
And one of my favourite stories is Sophie, who's 6 now, and was 4.5, 5 at the time. She loves going to museums and putting on headphones. And can you remember what she shouted out in the middle of the Van Gogh Museum?
Was it? He's got one leg.
Well, yeah, it was. There was a man with one leg, and she just pointed at him. Didn't realise how loud her voice was going to be because she had her headphones on, and just said, "He's got one leg," which was not great. But the other thing she did, she wandered up to me as she was listening to the audio descriptions, walking around the museum, and just went, Dad, he chopped his ear off. I mean, it was a bit embarrassing, but good fun all the same. So,
didn't you also scream like, he shot himself in the stomach?
He shot himself, Dad. Yeah. Van Gogh's life story, potentially not for 5-year-olds, I think we've established. Shall we crack on with the show?
Yes.
So I don't know if you're going to beat last week's Kindness News, which was Kindness News and Pope News.
It was the Pope edition of Kindness News.
It was Kindness News Pope edition. So this edition of Kindness News is what edition?
Soldier edition.
Kindness News Soldier edition.
I've only got one story though.
All right, okay, no, that's fine.
Okay. So the title of the news story.
If it was two stories, it'll be Kindness News Soldier edition. Wow. There's one for the fans of really dodgy 90s TV. There, Soldier.
Okay. The title of
I just saw that comment fly right over your head. Yeah. You've never heard of Soldier, have you?
No, Winter. The one about the soldier sailor. That went through my head.
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Yeah.
Okay.
But that is a film worth watching. But
I know.
Okay, right. You ready for our soldiers' news?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So the title of the article is called "We Will Remember Them."
Okay.
Many people were moved by the story of hundreds of strangers turning up at the funeral of a World War II veteran who died with no close family or friends.
Yeah.
An online campaign was launched after a notice was posted in a local newspaper following Harold Jellicoe Percival's death, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, asking servicemen and women to attend the service.
Love it.
The story went viral and hundreds of kind military personnel and civilians turned out for the PAT service in Lancashire on Armistice Day.
Yeah, you know what? The thing I love especially about that story is the fact that we shouldn't forget what people 2 or 3 generations older than us actually sacrificed to fight for freedom and good in the world over and above discrimination and fascism.
Yeah.
I think the challenge we've got with that is as that generation dies out, we do start to forget, and then you go back to a mindset which is more about division and hate than it is about getting love and getting together. But I'm so glad that there are people in this world who will go out and just remember that people made sacrifices for the world we live in today. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's great. It's the best word I could find. Well, extraordinary. I didn't want to go over the top, but it's got me tongue-tied.
Oh, right, okay, but you do think it's a good thing?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
We go.
That's a good word. Thank you for Kindness News Soldier Edition. What edition are we going to have next week?
Surprise edition.
Oh, surprise! All right, see you next week. So most of what we hear about celebrities, Charlotte, is
negative.
Yeah, it's sort of salacious and sort of not particularly positive. But some celebrities use their profile for good, don't they?
Yeah.
And what I wanted to do today is talk a little bit about the celebrities who do pretty cool stuff, and I know you've been doing some research into it, right?
Yeah, so you asked me to have a look at this, okay? So the first one, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp always travels around with his Captain Jack Sparrow costume to make impromptu visits to sick kids in hospital.
Okay.
Johnny Depp also often goes to Disneyland and sometimes even dresses up as Captain Jack unannounced and takes over for signature time with the kids.
See, I've seen Johnny Depp do this on a YouTube video where he went into I think it was Great Ormond Street actually. He went into a London hospital that dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow and really entertained the kids and did a really good job on it. Have you seen that video?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay, fair enough. And who else is doing awesome work?
Okay, this one's more of a funny kind thing to do.
Yeah.
This one's Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, the undoubted nice guy of Hollywood, right?
Yep. Right, so he was cool enough to pose for a series of awesome impromptu photos with a fan in a pizza place.
Right.
In the series, the fan pretends to be drunk, glasses askew and slouched over, first on Hanks and then face first into pizza, while Hanks is pointing. And there's just a string of pictures, and I think it's really cool because this is like some random guy he doesn't know, and he's gone and he's just done
He's just helped him out. Yeah.
Yeah, just taking pictures of him.
Well, okay, so I'm going to give you a scenario, right? Tom Hanks knocks on the door.
Yep.
What would you, or you meet him in a pizza place, what photo would you want with Tom Hanks?
So, like pretending to slap him, I think that'd be funny.
What?
Like, I wouldn't actually slap him, you know what I mean?
So you'd slap Tom Hanks as a...
No, I wouldn't slap Tom Hanks.
Oh, right, okay.
I'd like fake slap Tom Hanks like that.
You've just real slapped me.
No, I tapped you on the face.
I wouldn't. I'd pretend I was a volleyball. Because he was in a film called Castaway a few years ago. So
Yep.
I'd pretend I was a volleyball and I'd get him to go, Wilson! And that will mean nothing for anybody who's not seen Castaway.
AKA me.
Yeah, so who's our next celebrity?
Okay, you're going to have to help me with the pronunciation of his surname. Zach Galifianakis.
Zach Galifianakis. Zach Galifianakis is his name, apparently.
Zach Galifianakis. I wasn't finished.
Oh, you sounded like you were finished. Zach Galifianakis.
Zach Galifianakis.
Zach Galifianakis, I think, is
was
the guy.
just a struggling actor comedian 20 years ago in Los Angeles. He made an unlikely friend at a laundromat. Now 87-year-old Elizabeth Mimi Haste volunteered and lived at Fox Laundry in Santa Monica, surviving off tips from customers for 18 years. One of those customers was Zach, who, after the success of the original Hangover in 2009, stopped visiting the laundromat regularly, but always checked in on his old friend Mimi. When the 43-year-old actor learned that Mimi had become homeless, he found her a one-bed, one-bath apartment in Santa Monica and started paying for her rent and utilities.
What an awesome thing to do.
Oh, keep going.
Oh.
Mimi worked and slept in a Santa Monica laundromat before Zach brought her an apartment nearby. Zach's actress friend Renee Zellweger, I think that's her pronunciation, helped Mimi decorate the apartment and often brings her groceries to make sure the elderly woman always has food in her fridge.
See,
I'm not done.
No.
Zach has taken Mimi to the last two Hangover movie premieres, as well the premiere for his movie The Campaign. She says she is often mistaken for his girlfriend.
Oh, what a lovely story. So when he was a jobbing actor and he was struggling, he was popping all the time. And when he earned a bit of money, he decided to help her out, which is an incredibly nice thing to do. See, I think there's a sometimes unfair perception about celebrities that they're all
stuffy,
selfish. And actually, the reality is that there's plenty of non-celebrities. There's plenty of people doing awesome things every single day. So, give me another one.
Okay, my last one.
Go on then.
Okay, this one's a post, so it's a quote. It's not me talking. It's someone else. I was at a shoe store in Cleveland
when did you go to Cleveland?
I've never been to America in my life.
All right, okay.
I was at a shoe store in Cleveland about 4 years ago. I think it was Finish Line, and I'm looking at the new LeBron shoes. Mind you that I'm only 18 at the time, and a huge shadow appears over me. I turn around and it was LeBron James standing there. He smiled and said, "You want my new shoes?" I stumbled over my words for a few seconds, then said yes. I think I'm going to buy a pair right now. He then asked me my size, went up to the front desk and bought me 2 pairs. One he signed, and he said the other was for me to practice my post moves in. One of the best days of my life.
Love it. So just being in a shoe shop, meeting a hero, meeting somebody you look up to, and they just do something really cool and generous that they don't need to do. They buy you a pair of shoes. I tell you what, that signed pair has got to be something worth treasuring. What would you do if somebody... I mean, what would be your equivalent of that? A Doctor Who script?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Like,
a Harry Potter one?
Signed Hamilton playbook.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A signed Hamilton script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Like
Yeah.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Who would you get? Just Lin-Manuel
No,
Miranda?
I think I'd get like it from all the actors who play like Alexander Hamilton, John Lawrence, Hercules Mulligan, and Lafayette.
Okay,
Yeah.
but not. I forgot his name now.
Aaron Burr.
Not Aaron Burr.
No. No. Although he has one
Apologies, Hamilton actor who plays Aaron Burr. But Charlotte doesn't want your.
No, I just think it'd be cool. I just think it'd be cool because obviously they have like a lot of. They have a couple of songs where they just all kind of sing together. And I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah. So they are, listeners, some examples of celebrities doing some cool stuff in the world, and I'm sure there's many more examples that we'll be sharing soon.
It's the end. Father, it's the end.
The end of what?
The podcast.
Hey! The end of another podcast.
Yep.
We're getting good at this, aren't we?
Yeah.
We are.
We can't just churning them out. Just like,
Churning them out. It's not an industrial factory. We're creating stuff here.
Yeah.
We're churning them.
Industrial factory.
We're just churning them out. Well, for your listening pleasure, we're churning them out.
That's exactly why we're doing it.
Yeah, true. But the end of the podcast, as you know, and I know, Charlotte.
Oh, let me do it.
Go on then.
Let me do it.
It's never the end, because it's time for...
Last week, this week question. I tried to switch it up because last time I got tongue-tied.
Okay, so what we do every week, listeners, as you'll know if you're a regular listener, is we have a question of the podcast that you would have heard at the start of the show, and we always answer last week's question this week with your comments, the comments you send in to us
Last week, and we read them out this week.
Absolutely. And we share your comments, like if you've sort of answered on Facebook or Twitter or email, we always read them out. And the question of the podcast last week was...
What's the favourite thing about where you live? That's incorrectly written. What's the favourite thing about where you live?
Thanks for that live grammar check. I appreciate that. And Neela Mystery, who's a new listener who's come into the podcast, has said the favourite thing about where she lives is there's an openness about the air. You can breathe without feeling any congestion. Oh, and we've got a Costa. So... Yeah, she likes Costa coffee. You're a fan of Costa coffee.
I love an iced coffee in general.
Other coffee shops are available. Starbucks.
No. You know what?
Other independent coffee shops are available.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a little sandwich shop down the corner from us, and they close. I can't even tell you when they close because I'm never there. And like you always have to go there.
I hope this story's going somewhere.
And like they have like the best sandwiches, like they can do any type of kind of bread, like any type of filling. And I usually go and I get a crusty chicken tikka.
Oh,
mayo.
You know what? A good old school bakery that does homemade sandwiches. But they're not like sort of they tend to be. But like you know what I like? A sandwich from a bakery with doorstop bread, like really thick bread with loads of filling and stuff like that. That's really good.
There's a new ice cream shop opening around the corner from us as well.
There is.
Yeah,
there is.
Sprinkles.
We'll have to give that a go, old Sprinkles. Other ice cream shops and bakeries are available. Let's not forget Greg's. Oh, can I just talk about Greg's, actually? Because Greg's, the bakers, did perform a really awesome act of kindness a little while ago. You know when the cold snap was and everybody got stuck on a motorway near Manchester?
Yeah.
Greg's, knowing that they weren't going to be able to get their delivery through, gave away all of the goods in the van to stranded drivers.
That's good.
I'm sure that if that was a Percy Ingles van, they'd do the same, but well done, Greg's. That's awesome, generous, friendly work. Epic. Well, that's Money Supermarket you've done there, I think. But never mind. Okay, so Neela loves where she lives because it's got a Costa and it's quite open. John Cook said he likes where he lives because of the social diversity. He likes the mixture of cultures, families attending the same schools through generations, mixed with people coming into the UK and getting involved.
Yep.
Now, the next comment is from a guy regular commenter on the podcast called Brian Hill, and he's actually moving very soon. And he's moving to a lovely place that we're actually going away to this year in Italy called Lake Garda.
Yeah.
So he's in a position where he's just tweeted a picture of just something really beautiful, just an Italian harbour, and said, does where we're moving to count? And it does look incredible. Karina Murray, who used to live in London but now lives in America, said the favourite thing about where she lives is the weather, because now she has real seasons as opposed to just grey. Just
Well,
grey.
no, because then you get summer and it's just like, I'm going to burn you alive. And then you get winter and you expect it to be snowy and you go, oh, it's actually kind of warm. And then you get spring come around and we go, we're going to freeze all your crops.
Well, we've... you gave each weather a personality now. There, I've never heard winter actually go, we're going to freeze all your crops. I mean, I don't know when that happens, but yeah, we're freezing your crops. What are you up to, winter? Oh, nothing, just freezing a few crops. But we're having real seasons this year, just not in the right order, to be honest. But
yeah, because we had a bit of summer the other day, and it's mid-spring, and we're just like we're sitting here. I'm sitting here looking at the snow and just kind of going, where did the sunshine go?
The sun will come out
Tomorrow.
hopefully. Justin Gaffney said he's talking about his actual flat, and he says, I like it because it's my space, my world, somewhere he feels safe, comfortable and relaxed.
My bedroom.
Yeah, your bedroom's the same, isn't it? Oh, and his dog Washington loves it as well. And one act of kindness, one listener's act of kindness, who's being kind to each other. Jeremy Squibb's children are being kind to each other by helping each other make an Easter bonnet and just standing back and enjoying the fun. So that is genuinely it. That's the end of the podcast. So until next time, listeners, hope you have an awesome week.
Bye.